There is a conversation happening in publishing at the moment which, to me, is framed almost entirely wrongly. On one side, AI is presented as the great democratizer. It can write the book, edit it, produce the cover, create the metadata, market it, and perhaps eventually make half the traditional publishing industry unnecessary. On the other side, we hear that AI produces generic prose, destroys voice, invents facts, misses plot holes, and is filling publishing platforms with rubbish. I find myself, rather inconveniently, agreeing with parts of both arguments. Rondanini Publishing uses AI a lot. We use it for editorial work, research, analysis, verification, production, visual development, metadata, and some of the machinery around publishing. And we do not hide that. So this is certainly not an anti-AI position. But I have absolutely no interest in producing 500 books simply because a machine can generate 500 books. Those are two entirely different things. The Rondanini position is actually quite simple. AI is a professional tool. It is not a substitute for responsibility. And that distinction matters enormously. I think the question, was AI used, is rapidly becoming useless. Used how? An author may use AI to challenge an idea, to investigate something, to find inconsistencies, to test a chapter, to ask whether an argument actually makes sense, to identify repetition, to analyze structure, to interrogate a character, to check chronology, to find possible factual problems. Or, yes, somebody can type, "Write me a 70,000-word thriller." Those two things both involve AI. They are not remotely the same creative process. This is why I am much more interested in another question. Where did the intellectual and creative responsibility sit? If the person directing the work understands what is being produced, challenges it, changes it, rejects it, verifies it, and ultimately takes responsibility for it, AI is functioning as a tool. If somebody presses a button and publishes whatever comes back, then the machine is effectively doing the work. I do not think we need to pretend those things are equivalent. At Rondanini, we are perfectly comfortable with human-directed, AI-assisted publishing. What does not interest us is low-effort synthetic publishing simply because the marginal cost of producing another book has collapsed. That is not innovation, it is volume. There is a very good argument made by some professional editors that authors should be extremely careful about using ChatGPT or similar systems to edit books, and I agree with much of it. Upload your novel and ask, "What do you think?" and you are quite likely to be told that it has a compelling premise, interesting characters, and strong potential. Perhaps you should deepen the emotional conflict, raise the stakes, tighten the prose, strengthen the world building. Wonderful. The author feels better. The book may not be any better at all. That is not professional editing. But I disagree with the conclusion that the answer is therefore not to use AI. The answer is not to use AI like that. If the same system is asked to admire your manuscript, edit it, rewrite it, and then decide whether its own rewriting was successful, you have designed a terrible process. So we do not design the process that way. The strongest use of AI in editing, in my view, is not asking it to make something nicer. It is asking it to find where something fails. That means evidence. If an agent identifies a problem, I want to know where. What is the evidence? What was established previously? What contradicts it? Is this actually an error or simply a stylistic preference? Is the author doing something deliberately? How serious is it? What happens if we leave it alone? And if a change is made, the agent making the change should not automatically be the agent that certifies the result. remediation and verification should be separate. Sometimes another agent reviews it, sometimes another model reviews it, sometimes the evidence comes from an independent source, sometimes something needs to be recalculated, sometimes a specialist needs to look at it, sometimes a human reader needs to look at it. The method depends on the risk. But asking the same model 3 times whether its answer is correct is not independent verification. You have not necessarily verified anything. You have simply obtained 3 answers from the same system. And sometimes the correct result of review is simply fail. Then back it goes. No drama, no wounded ego. Fix it. Then check again. That matters because AI systems are extraordinarily good at explaining problems away. A character behaves inconsistently, and suddenly there is a psychological explanation. A fictional rule is broken, and perhaps it represents personal transformation. A number does not reconcile, and perhaps there is an unstated assumption. No. Sometimes the character is inconsistent, sometimes the rule has been broken, sometimes the number is wrong. The job of an editorial process is not to protect the manuscript from criticism. It is to expose the manuscript to criticism before the reader does. This is also important. I do not believe in pretending that every Rondanini book passes through exactly the same mechanical pipeline. That would be nonsense. Editorial control should be proportionate to the book and to the risk. A novel needs continuity checking, structural analysis, character consistency, pacing, voice protection, and, importantly, human reading. A technical finance book has a different problem. A beautifully written sentence about an option can still be completely wrong. A sign can be reversed. A calculation can fail. A market convention can be misstated. In that case, prose quality is almost irrelevant until the underlying technical content is correct. Numbers may need to be recalculated. Assertions may need sources. Examples may need to be reproduced independently. A historical book has another risk profile. A memoir, another one again. So the Rondanini principle is not every book gets exactly the same AI process. It is every book gets the level and type of verification appropriate to what it claims to be. That is a much more meaningful standard. There is another problem I take very seriously: homogenization. Tell an AI to improve the same manuscript often enough, and eventually it may improve the author out of it. Everything becomes clean, balanced, fluent, reasonable, and boring. An unusual writer starts sounding like everybody else. That is a failure. Editing should not mean converting every book into the statistical idea of good prose. A Gothic novel is allowed to breathe, literary fiction is allowed to linger, a thriller is allowed to move brutally quickly, a strange writer is allowed to remain strange. An awkward sentence can be intentional, repetition can be rhythm, silence can matter. The editor, whether human or artificial, has to understand the difference between a defect and a choice. If the system cannot confidently tell the difference, I would rather it flag the passage than silently fix it. The author's voice belongs to the author. The editorial process is there to protect it, not replace it. With fiction, AI can damage pacing, voice, or internal logic. With non-fiction, it can make something false sound extremely convincing. That is worse. This is why I am particularly uncomfortable with AI being treated as an authority. AI-generated confidence is not evidence. A factual claim still needs to be checked, a quotation still needs to exist, a number still needs to reconcile, a technical assertion still needs to survive examination. And, where the subject is specialized, someone has to understand enough about the subject to know when the machine may be wrong. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings around AI. Verification is not asking for reassurance. It means looking for evidence independent of the original answer. That may be another source, another calculation, a genuinely independent model review, primary evidence, human expertise, whatever is appropriate to the claim. This is where I think publishing needs more precision. Saying a book was made with AI tells me almost nothing. Was AI used to spell check it, research it, challenge the structure, rewrite paragraphs, generate half the prose, create the illustrations, produce metadata after the book was finished? Those are not the same thing. My distinction is material contribution, and by material, I mean that AI has contributed substantially to the expressive content the reader is actually buying, rather than merely helping a human creator develop, examine, verify, or produce that work. If AI generates substantial passages of the prose being presented as an author's work, that matters. If it substantially generates illustrations or other creative material forming part of the product, that matters. That is different from using AI to find a continuity error, challenge an argument, analyze a manuscript, check grammar, assist research, test a calculation, or interrogate a draft. There will be gray areas. Of course there will. Publishing has always contained gray areas. Editors rewrite sentences. Ghostwriters exist. Translators make creative decisions. Designers influence interpretation. Researchers contribute material. So I do not believe the sensible answer is to pretend that every intervention is identical. What matters is understanding where the creative contribution sits and being able to stand behind it. At Rondanini, our policy is to be transparent about the use of AI. Where a publishing platform, distributor, or service asks us to declare whether AI has been used, we answer that question accurately and distinguish between AI-generated and AI-assisted work, where the platform provides for that distinction. If more detail is required, we provide it. That is our responsibility. What the platform then chooses to display to the reader is its decision. One retailer may show an AI disclosure, another may record it internally. Another may use the information for compliance without putting anything on the public product page. That part is outside our control. Our responsibility is to provide accurate information about the work and the process behind it. Transparency does not mean pretending every algorithmic intervention is the same, nor does it mean attaching a giant badge to every book saying, AI was used here. It means not concealing the process when disclosure is requested. It means answering accurately, and it means understanding the difference between AI as a tool and AI as a material creative contributor. The obvious reaction is, fine, we will use AI detectors. I would not. Not as evidence of authorship. They can be useful as one signal, that is all. A detector produces a probability based on patterns. It does not know who wrote the sentence. Human writing can trigger it. AI writing can avoid it. Different systems disagree, and heavily edited text makes the distinction even less meaningful. If I genuinely need to understand how a manuscript was created, I would rather examine the manuscript, the drafts, the research, the revision history, the author's process, and, quite simply, whether the author actually understands and can defend the work. Authorship is not a percentage. AI can generate an image in seconds. That does not mean it has designed a book cover. A cover has a job. It has to represent the book. It has to work as a thumbnail and in print. The typography has to work. The composition has to work. It has to belong to the book, rather than merely looking impressive for 3 seconds. The same applies to marketing. AI can produce 50 social media posts before breakfast. That does not mean anyone wants to read them. It can write metadata. That does not mean the positioning is right. It can suggest keywords. That does not mean they are commercially useful. The cheaper production becomes, the more important judgment becomes. Because when output becomes practically unlimited, output itself stops being valuable. Selection becomes valuable, taste becomes valuable, verification becomes valuable, trust becomes valuable, and those are exactly the things a publisher should be providing. There is one part of the process I have no interest in eliminating: the human reader. AI can analyze pacing, it can map character appearances, it can identify unresolved promises, it can compare one chapter against another, it can tell me why a reader might lose interest. But a human can say, "I stopped caring here." That is different. A human reader can become irritated with somebody, miss a character, become suspicious, feel manipulated by an ending, laugh unexpectedly, become bored, misunderstand something we thought was obvious, or simply put the book down. AI can simulate and analyze those possibilities. It cannot genuinely experience them. That is why I still believe in the value of a cold human read. Not because humans are magically infallible, they are not, but because the ultimate customer for a book is still a human being. So where does that leave us? Rondanini Publishing is pro-AI, very much so. We are also anti-slop. We do not believe that using AI automatically invalidates authorship. We do not believe refusing to use AI somehow guarantees quality. We do not believe an AI's confidence makes something true. We do not believe one friendly ChatGPT conversation constitutes professional editing. We do believe AI can be an extraordinarily powerful editorial, analytical, research, and production tool. We believe criticism should be evidenced. We believe remediation and verification should be separated where the risk justifies it. We believe verification should have genuine independence. We believe the verification process should match the type of book. We believe authorial voice should be protected. We believe factual claims require evidence. We believe human readers still matter. And our policy is to be transparent about AI use when publishers, distributors, or platforms ask us to declare it. Whether that information is subsequently surfaced to the reader is for the platform to decide. And, above everything else, we believe somebody must remain accountable for the finished book. That somebody cannot be the machine. Publishing has changed many times. AI is simply a much bigger change than most. Pretending it does not exist is pointless. Handing it complete control would be equally foolish. The interesting position is between those two extremes. Use the machine, challenge the machine, make it show the evidence, verify what matters, disagree with it, reject its suggestions, and sometimes ignore it completely. Then publish something you are prepared to put your name on, because that, ultimately, is the Rondanini test. Not whether AI touched the book, whether we are prepared to stand behind it. This is Rondanini Publishing.